Hi, I'm Lisa Lovechild, Ruby Hooping sponsored hooper. It is a freakishly warm winter night here in Colorado, so I thought I would make a tutorial for you guys on paddles. I am not going to be going over breaks and paddles, just merely paddles. They are a foundation to many hoop moves, and you can do them anywhere that you core hoop. So you can do them on the waist, on the shoulders. If you can head hoop, you can paddle on your head while you're head hooping. And in theory, you can do paddles while you're knee or ankle hooping, though I have never tried that. So I'm going to give you guys an exercise to warm up and get used to the paddling motion, and then I will break down the paddles all the way into teeny tiny bits, so hopefully you can work them into your practice. They are, most of the time, they are combined with breaks where you paddle the hoop and then break, reverse it, paddle the hoop, break, reverse it. I'm not going to be covering those. I can do a tutorial on that if you would like to see one. I really like paddles, and they're very beneficial because you can use them to direct the hoop up and down the body, as well as off the body and back on the body without gripping the hoop with your hands. So they're really awesome, and they're a foundation for a lot of moves. So the first thing that I'm going to show you guys is actually a Tai Chi move, and it's called Waving Hands Like Clouds, and it will get you used to the arm motions that you use when you paddle the hoop. And it looks something like this. Like clouds, you want to spread your legs wider than hip width and soften your knees. You'll tuck your tailbone under, just like you would in yoga, and you are going to take a deep breath in, head out and relax, and then you're going to wave your hands like clouds in Tai Chi language, which is basically this motion, like this. I'm slowly turning my torso from right to left, and I'm moving my arms across my body in this crossing motion like this. And breathing and relaxing while you do it. This is a really good warm-up for your spine. And the motions that your arms are using right now are very similar to the motions that your arms do when you are paddling a hoop. So I invite you to close your eyes, get in touch with your body, and just feel the movement of your arms floating through space here, just like this. Okay, so after you've done that for a little bit, you can start to incorporate your hoop. For paddling, you do need to know how to either waist hoop or shoulder hoop really well. You can turn while you do these. I'm going to show them to you standing still, but just keep in mind while learning paddles, it is beneficial to turn while you first learn them, just like with any other hoop trick. So the first thing I'm going to do is talk about hand placement. So if I am hooping to the right, which is this direction, my right hand is my first hand, and to paddle the hoop it'll come across my body. So my right hand will touch my left shoulder, and when I paddle the hoop or push the hoop, it will push out in this motion, similar to what we're doing in Wave Hands Like Clouds. My left hand, when hooping to the right, is my second hand. And your left hand doesn't cross as much. It comes more from heart center right here, and it will push more straight out. So hands will look like this when you're paddling the hoop. You can use both hands to paddle the hoop, and you can either paddle flat out from the heart with either your left or your right hand on top. It doesn't matter. So what I'm suggest when learning paddles is to not go full tilt right away. If you try to push the hoop really quickly when you're in flow with one hand, your hoop is probably going to go all wonky and all tilted, all crazy because you're not pushing evenly. So what I suggest when first learning paddles is to start small and to just do one paddle at a time, and to even just flick it with your fingertips, and I will demonstrate that for you now. If I start to shoulder hoop, and I'll be hooping to the right first, I will demonstrate it to the left. So here I am, I start shoulder hooping to the right. I'm going to paddle with my right hand, which is my first hand. I get it to touch my left shoulder, and right now I'm not pushing the hoop. My hand is just resting straight onto my shoulder. But I can start to bring my fingers away from my shoulder and begin to give a little extra momentum to the hoop by pushing it. If I turn to the side, you can see just my hand is coming out, and when the hoop rolls across the back of my hand, I'm flicking it out and pushing the hoop. So we can practice with our second hand now, which is our left hand. I'm going to put my left hand on heart center, right here, and same thing. And same thing, so when the hoop rolls across my left hand, I'm going to flick my fingers out to give the hoop a little bit more momentum. So once you start feeling comfortable with just simply flicking your fingers away from your body, you can start to add a little bit more push and take your hand off your body. So you're here, and I can start pushing the hoop with one hand and taking my hand off my body. And with my left hand, it's more of a straight push out. And if I do them together, once I'm comfortable doing them apart, it looks like this. And one thing that I really like with paddles is a really pretty follow through that stalls the hoop. So if I paddle with my right hand and turn at the same time, the hoop will stall to my right and it'll look really pretty. So. Paddling, stall. So if we do it to the left, my left hand is my first hand, and my left hand will come and touch my right shoulder. And in the beginning, my fingertips will just flick it gently away from my body. Flick, flick, flick. I'm keeping the heel of my hand resting on my shoulder and just using my fingertips to push the hoop. And if you're hooping to the left, your right hand is your second hand, and it will go onto heart center. And same thing, flick my fingertips away from the hoop. And eventually, again, as if you were hooping to the right, once you get comfortable with that, you can start to move your hand away and add both arms in, alternating. And eventually you can follow through with a straight arm, and it looks really pretty. That is a quick tutorial on paddles. If you would like me to elaborate on anything, or if you have any other requests for any other tutorials, please leave a comment or message me. If you like this beautiful shiny rainbow hoop, you can go to my sponsor's website, which is rubyhooping.com. At checkout, you can use the code LisaLoveChild for 10% off your order. I hope this helped you learn some paddles. And like I said, if you need clarification or if you'd like tutorials on anything else, please let me know. Happy hooping!